morning, Dr. Terrace. Thank you very much for joining us this morning, and thank you for agreeing to this interview as well. I think we can just start off with you giving us an overview of the electricity market in Kenya and some of the challenges that you as KPLC face, including electrification rates and the likes.
Thank you very much, Sam. Very well. Just to give you an industry establishment, KPLC is part of one of the institutions within the sector that helps in carrying out the distribution of power to the end consumer. We have institutions such as KenGen, which is responsible for generation, KETRACO, which is responsible for distribution, Rural Electrification, REA, which is more focused on public facilities, Energy Regulatory Commission, which basically is the overseer, that's a big brother to all of us within the sector, and we have Kenya Nuclear Energy Board, which is responsible for developing that component of power under the nuclear, from a nuclear perspective. In this country, we have a total of 2,336 megawatts of installed capacity against a peak demand of about 1,655. Okay. So in essence, we have some excess capacity, but we are within the limits that are acceptable globally. Normally, anything in the range of 30 to 35% is okay, and as a country, I think we are well above 32%. Of course, from this generation, we have a mix which comes out of geothermal, thermal, hydro, wind, solar, and biomass. But when you look at our energy mix at the moment, geothermal is beginning to take the lead at about 49%. Of course, in the past, we had hydro being the greatest contributor to our source of energy. Thermal, on the other hand, has also been very good, but with the developments coming out of geothermal, we are seeing a lot more reduction in the thermal component. And by the way, like you are aware, it is a more expensive source of power. As a country, we had the 5,000 plus megawatt power development plan, which encompassed generation from various sources, including coal. But a lot of these have now been pegged on the growth in demand. And it is in our interest to ensure that we grow supply in tandem with the growth in demand. Now, some coming to the number of customers. As a country, we have now connected about 6.2 million customers. And when you look at that against a total population of roughly 42 million, we are looking at, and by the way, we have a translation which we estimate that every household has 5.5 number of persons. So if you look at 6.2 million households plus, against 5.5, that will give you an average about 35, 36 million customers who have access to power, and that translates to about 70%. Indeed, it was the government's target to meet 70% access by 30th June 2017. And when we gave out reports at that point in time, it was clear that we had met the target. Again, going by that, and in line with our Vision 2030, we have an intention to have universal access by the year 2020. And I think given the support we are getting from government, including the donor communities, I have no doubt in my mind that we will achieve that target of universal access by the year 2020. And this is because we have given ourselves as an institution a target of 1.5 million households, customers for that matter, on an annual basis. So when you translate that, we are then very optimistic that we will meet the target. You asked about challenges, Sam, and of course, in a sector like this, obviously we have enough number of challenges, but chief among them, we are faced with a problem of increase in increase in the number of losses coming from the extension of our network. Now, as we extend the network, we are getting a lot more into areas, which are not as profitable as a plan.
Yeah.
Into areas, which requires huge investments into expanding the lines and so on and so forth. But we are clear that this could be in the short term, but eventually, when demand grows in the areas where we are targeting, then we will recoup some of those issues. We also have serious challenges emanating from wave acquisition. Remember, we are crisscrossing lines in people's properties, and more often than not, we require their consent to pass our lines through their areas. And so it not only comes with costs, but sometimes we meet resistance coming out of those customers. But we have, began enlightening the entire populace on the importance of, as it were, getting power across to some of those customers. Then obviously the other thing is, vandalism, which is common across. We have our infrastructure being attacked every so often. There are various components within a transformer that vandals would be interested in, including oil and the copper materials that are within the transformers. And of course, lastly, but more importantly, the cost of power. If you look at, like I mentioned, our mix, in the past, or in the recent past, we've seen the generation come from thermal sources coming down. But due to the hydrological conditions that are experienced in the country at the moment, I see us going back to a situation where we will increase the generation coming from thermal to compensate for the loss arising from the decline in the water levels. As it is, if you look at one of our biggest water reservoir, Masinga, which is part of the Seven Forks, we only have hardly 1 meter before we get to a level where we have to shut.
Seriously?
Yes, that generation. And when you look at 1 meter levels, that means we can only run it for the next 2 weeks, maximum 3 weeks.
Yeah.
By which time then we will be forced to shut it. And of course, that generation, more than 100 megawatts, would then have to come from somewhere else.
Yeah.
And the only source that we think about at the moment would be thermal.
Yeah.
And when we look at the cost of generating between the hydros and the thermal at about 21 and the hydro about 3 shillings, which is 0.03 US against 0.21 US. So you have a differential of about 0.18 US cents. And that would then imply that the cost of power then might go up.
Is it? Do you then intend to pass that cost on to the consumer? Because I'm aware of the fact that you had applied for a tariff increase with the regulator, and the regulator then declined this increase. I mean, how would you then offset that cost?
It would be obvious that would then have to go to the end consumer, because remember, and we of course will get back through an appeal mechanism to ERC, because and I believe, looking at the conditions in the country, ERC would perhaps agree with us that the entire country is getting challenged. And look, if we have gotten to a level where we have industries who require power, it would be suicidal as a country not to avail the same power. Investors have come on board on the basis of reliability of power and that kind of thing. So I obviously see that going out, being passed through the consumers. But it's my only hope that Mother Nature, perhaps in the short range duration, which is between October and December, we will see a lot more improvement, so that even if we were to increase the amount of thermal, it would not be as high as in situations where we absolutely have no generation from hydro. Yeah. Then you asked about the general transmission, and incidentally, transmission lines are now the preserve of our sister institution, KETRACO,
yes,
which is the Kenya Transmission Company. But granted, this institution was created long after Kenya Power had developed a huge transmission infrastructure.
Yes.
And as it is, Kenya Power still owns about more than 80% of
the transmission lines.
Yes. But any new transmission line now is being constructed by KETRACO.
Yes.
But it is important to know that since we are one sector, we all work as a team to ensure that the end customer or consumer then gets power, whether it's being transmitted through the KETRACO transmission lines or Kenya Power transmission lines.
Yeah.
It is basically a collaboration between the two institutions.
Yes. I believe that there is talk of 132 kV lines being classified as transmission lines. Would that now mean that KPLC would then be responsible for building new 132 kV lines, or will that be with KETRACO?
No, anything that would fall within the domains of transmission will obviously remain a KETRACO territory. But like I said, if we look at the 132 kV lines that exist at the moment, together with 220, Kenya Power would still be a big leg within this. So, save for the new lines that will be constructed, whatever is in place would remain within the hands of Kenya Power. But obviously, going forward, like I said, we will collaborate between ourselves and KETRACO just to make sure that some of those would not inhibit our ability to distribute power, being the main distributor of power in the country.
Yes. Moving on to a different topic. I believe you've got a pilot program around smart meters at this point in time. Can you just tell us more about that?
Thank you, Sam. We, as a country, of course, and as an institution, more particularly as an institution, when we saw the amount of losses that we were incurring, we thought it necessary to start attacking our business from a different perspective. And what came to mind was, can we look at whether perhaps we are losing most of our power on account of these huge consumers? And what we did was to install smart meters on the premises of large customers. And what we've done at the moment is to install about 9,500 smart meters.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. And of course, it's a huge investment.
Yes.
And this came out, or it was informed by the fact that more often than not, we could not access customer premises when we want to read our meters.
Yes.
And so, what we then did was to get the smart meter, put it onto our pole to avoid situations where we have customers being on direct supply. But again, the benefit of these smart meters is that we are able to read them from the comfort of our offices.
Yes.
We are able to connect or disconnect customers from the comfort of our offices.
Yes.
And therefore, we do not need those movements where you have to go to the meter, you have to go disconnect, you have to go reconnect. But more importantly, these smart meters also have a detecting mechanism, because using a SCADA system, it tells us when there is interference with supply or the meter, for example. So that if a customer wanted to bypass the meter, then we get a signal from the office, and then we send the meter inspectors to say, hang on, what are you trying to do as a customer? That way, it has then helped us, and indeed, when we did that, we have seen significant growth in our revenues coming from that category of customers.
Yes.
It is our intention going forward to extend this to all consumers, but some I must acknowledge here that it comes with a lot of cost.
Yes.
And since they are fairly expensive, then we will do it on a phased out approach.
Okay.
And we will basically finance this from the internally generated funds.
Okay.
But we will also look at support from our development partners, more particularly people like the World Bank, the African Development Bank, the French AFD, and institutions such as European Union. And when we share statistics on the gains we have derived from this, we have seen a lot of interest coming from these development institutions. Because indeed, this will go a long way in helping us bring down the amount of losses, which at the moment stands at about 18.8%.
Jeez, that's a lot.
So,
now, in terms of your rollout, are you able to give like concrete numbers in terms of how many units you want to roll out over how much long period of time as well? And then with that as well, what would you be looking for from a technology partner who could potentially help you with this rollout as well?
Thank you, Sam. What we have obviously done is to identify, because we will also want to roll out this on the basis of, having done a cost-benefit analysis. There will obviously be a number of customers, like if you look at those in the informal settlement, we might not want to roll a smart meter into individual houses, but we can do it in a cluster of households. But we have run through some small cost-benefit analysis, and we are also looking at focusing on. We've come from our high-end customers. We are now coming to the SMEs category.
Yes.
And then eventually we will transit into the domestic consumers.
Okay.
Now, in the SMEs subcategory, which is about I would put it roughly at about 1.2 million, this is the group that we are now targeting. And it is our hope that we will run this, or we will implement this in the next between 2 to 3 years. Of course, depending on the support that we get from our development partners. Then the rest of the customers, which is then the domestic component, will come on board after we are done with this program. But again, like I said, I will not have the exact numbers we will do on an annual basis, because it will be dependent on the financial support that we get. And of course, if we have institutions that will, for example, say we are coming with the technology and the financing, so that we get into an arrangement like, build, operate, and transfer, POT. We are not immune to such discussions.
Yes. And then in terms of other projects, what other projects are you guys currently working on? And what other projects do you have in the pipeline as well? And how do you actually plan on financing some of these projects that you have in the pipeline? Are there any financial commitments that you received as well? And what timelines are you looking at to those?
Thank you very much. We, as an institution, of course, over the last 2 years, 3 years, and going forward, have done a number of things, including building substations in an effort to improve our supply and create a more robust network. Indeed, in this financial year, we are looking at doing 39 substations and refurbishing about 56 substations. The intention in all this is to create a network which is more versatile and therefore, deliver our product to the customer, a product that is the quality the customers desire. We have also, in this we intend to spend about 22 billion shillings, which is about 200 million, close to $200 million. And we are currently also involved in undergrounding some of the cables, just again to create that environment where the network is more flexible and fairly robust. And we are spending in Nairobi alone about 13.5 million, which is 13.5 billion shillings, and that is about 100 and if you divide that by 100, that would give you about $135 million. Then we have other programs like currently we are running the Last Mile. And the Last Mile project, this is aimed towards enhancing connectivity. We have split it into various phases, like for example phase 1, which was financed by the African Development Bank. We got 13.5 billion shillings. Then the World Bank came with 15 billion shillings. Again, the African Development Bank came back with 15 billion shillings. We are seeing the World Bank coming on board again. We are now seeing the European Union coming up with 9 billion shillings. The French Development Bank, AFD, coming up with about 6 billion shillings. So in total, we have mobilized resources up to the tune of 63 billion shillings towards the last mile connectivity. And we see this being rolled out within the next maximum 3 years. Maximum 3 years. And that's why I was saying I'm confident that we will attain universal access.
Yes.
Because with all these resources then, we will basically then extend the network and reach as many customers as possible. Besides that, Sam, we also have the street lighting program. Government decided that in order to create a 24-hour economy, it is going to finance the construction of street lights within major cities, towns, and now going into centers in rural areas. This way, it is then going to spur economic growth. And in areas like the urban centers, we are now seeing industries going into 24-hour economy. Indeed.
Good.
Okay. We also have government of Kenya giving us resources to the tune of 7.6 billion shillings for purposes of enhancing the street lighting. And the intention in this is to create a 24-hour economy. We are focusing on cities, towns, centers, and small centers with a view to creating a 24-hour economy. And what we have basically done is about, I would consider about 80% of the same. And when you look at it, Sam, it is beginning to yield fruits, because we are now in discussions, as it were, with ERC to see if we can have a time of use tariff, so that industries who want to take advantage of power when it is less, we are not in the peak demand period, can take advantage of that at a slightly lower tariff compared to what they would obviously consume if they were doing this during the peak hours. Now, the last project is the transformer densification, and what we are basically doing in this is to try and maximize the transformers. Where we have transformers, we are saying, can we connect anybody within that transformer? And in areas where we do not have transformers and there are long lines, we then go and plant in transformers just to connect the surrounding customers. Now, you had also asked about other new projects that we are thinking as an institution, and we derive a lot of this from our strategic plan. We have a 5-year strategic plan, which basically defines what we intend to do, and this was launched last year. It tells us what we need to focus in the next 5 years. The strategic plan basically carries a number of these, including refurbishment of our aging infrastructure and creating other substations to allow us the flexibility to supply our customers. The strategic plan, the implementation of the strategic plan has a budget of about $200 million over that period. And of course, a lot of these resources, again, will be obtained from development partners, but we are also generating a larger proportion of it from our own operations in Ghana. So we are looking at mobbing up resources to that tune of 200 million, both internally and externally, to allow us to implement the contents of our strategic plan. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. And we look forward to seeing you at the Power and Electricity South Africa Conference next year. Thank you.
It's my pleasure, and I hope we will manage to be balanced.
Fantastic.